Your SP fantasizes about your you-know-what. I am Neil Arthos. I am the next Abdullah, and you are the next Neville Goddard. Now look, manifesting an SP is simple when you realize that you are God. No, that does not mean that you created Adam and Eve and that you're a part of the Holy Trinity. No. But what that means is that you are not the mind. You are not the body. You are only the observer of your mind and the body. So what that must mean is what you perceive as reality is actually not reality. You are an eternal being living in a human experience. So when you realize that you are not limited to human faculties, you are able to now do much more powerful things from that awareness. Now look, everything that you see right now, whether it's you are struggling to pay your bills, you're living paycheck to paycheck, or you keep getting ghosted, your girlfriends are breaking up with you, you can't even last 1 year, or maybe you're just dating around and you keep getting flaked on, whatever it is, right? Those are circumstances not because you don't go to the gym enough, not because you are not skilled in any area and therefore your money is reflecting that. No, it is simply a reflection of your past assumptions, a reflection of beliefs that you have carried around your whole life. And let me tell you one thing, it could be something you've told yourself daily, or it could have been something that all it took was one situation, one breakup, one mistake that you made at your job, or even a traumatic event with your parents where you guys were homeless for a time. And all because of that, you carried this feeling that money is hard to get by, or that breakup broke you and you were never the same again, and you became this player, or you gave up on love and said that you will never have the same success again, right? We've all gone through all of it, and manifesting, whether it's SPs, whether it's money, whether it's appearance changes, you want to go from 5'5" to 6'3", whatever it is, it's all a reflection of things that you either said consciously or subconsciously. You are so powerful because you are God that all it takes is one little thought, one little, I hope this doesn't happen, and then it happens. Well, I'm going to tell you this, just like you have been manifesting the negative is the same way that you can manifest the positive. Forgive yourself. It's not your fault. You didn't know what you were doing. But now that you understand how reality works, you can maneuver the controls. Because remember, you are not limited to this human body. You are not limited to this character that you play every day who has to go to his job every single day, working the 9 to 5 throughout the week. Gods don't worry about paying bills. You're on the throne. You're exalted at the Most High, but you humbled yourself like a servant. But now it's time that you take up your throne and you realize who the fuck you are. So, going back to manifesting SPs, because I always like to start these videos powerful, because you are powerful, right? Because it gets to the point where you realize that life is more than SPs. Life is more than the hot girl that you have a crush on at the grocery store, right? Gods don't worry about petty little humans. Gods associate with the gods. And that's the way you have to start looking at yourself. So before I give you the techniques on what I would do if I was in your situation and I had an SP that I was trying to manifest, which I've manifested a lot, and maybe I'll give you a quick success story later on here in this video if it doesn't turn out to be an Avengers Endgame. But before you do visualization, I want you to do what I like to call self-pedestalization. And it's exactly how it sounds. Put yourself on the pedestal. You have been talking so much shit about yourself throughout your life, even when we were in high school. Oh, nah, Mom, I'm gonna get a 50 on this project. I failed this shit. Oh, she's gonna just ghost me just like all the other girls. You have been predicting your life without any proof. Well, it's time that you start predicting your life without any proof, but the opposite way. People talk about affirmations. Before you affirm that SP loves you, you want to affirm love for yourself. So before you start telling yourself every single day that you are in the relationship of your dreams and SP cannot stop texting you, why is it only about her? I want you to tell yourself every single day that you are God, that you are all that is, that you are the most important motherfucker in the universe. You are on the tallest peak of the mountain and everybody is looking up to you while you are highly exalted up. Everywhere you go, you're the most attractive person there. Every single time you speak, it's like the Lord opened up the clouds. Wherever you walk, whenever you enter into a room, people shouldn't even dare wear their shoes. They have to take it off because it's holy ground. I want you to say crazy narcissistic affirmations just like that, because you see, when your subconscious was stained with negativity your whole life, it is like bringing in just bleach and taking off all the bacteria you scattered throughout your subconscious whenever you say affirmations like this. It's powerful because you're just all dirty with, oh, love is never, I'm never gonna attract a hot 10 out of 10. I'll be lucky if I get a 5. And that's just your whole identity, bro. But it's time that you start putting yourself, if you're gonna say affirmations, you gotta put yourself on the pedestal. Now, another thing, and then, you know, this kind of segues into being an SP. But remember, like Neville Goddard says, you will never manifest what you want. You will only manifest what you are. So in order to manifest a SP, you can say all the affirmations and visualize all you want. But until you become that person, you will never get anywhere. So a lot of people say, live in the end and act as if. Well, to me, what better way to act as if than being an actor themselves who is trying to get an Oscar? Look, remember when I said at the beginning of this video that you are not the character, you are not the mind, you are not the body? That might seem odd to you because you're saying, well, okay, but I still have to go to work tomorrow and play this character. Well, you're damn right, yeah, because that was what you became accustomed to. And in a way, you are that character, but your true power is not that character, if that makes sense. Your true identity, your true DNA is not that character. But in Earth, in this playground, this video game that we are in, yeah, that's your character, but you are only that character because that is what you chose. But just like any video game, just like any movie, any actor, they can change their character. They just need a new script. So you have to sit there just like an actor would and ask yourself, what would the version that has my SP be doing? Or better yet, what type of lifestyle, what type of thoughts, what type of behaviors, what type of way would I be walking? Would I be talking? Would I be brushing my teeth? Would I be driving in the car? What type of sensations would I be feeling if I was already in that relationship? Not what would I be doing in order to get to the point where I can finally have my SP? What type of hygiene routines would I do to where she can finally answer my text? No. What would I be? What character would I look like if I already had my SP? And whatever comes into your imagination when you ask yourself that question, and you want to keep doing this over and over again, because you're not going to get the full answer right away, but the more you keep asking yourself this, the more it's basically like the way an actor discovers themselves. Remember, Heath Ledger, when he won that posthumous Oscar for acting in The Dark Knight as the Joker, one of the best performances of all time, he spent a whole month in a hotel, never leaving his room, journaling a fictional character study about this character before they even did screen tests. And he was able to flesh out one of the best comic book performances of all time, maybe even one of the best film performances of all time, period. The dedication, the honor he took from A Clockwork Orange. He had pictures of hyenas. He said some of the most sadistic things possible in order to get into that character. This was a very lovable guy turned into the darkest monster cinema has ever seen. But he did what he had to do. Well, you have to have that type of dedication. And remember, I'm not asking you to become something completely physically different. I mean, you could. If you really think that you need to bodybuild or you need to change something about your physical appearance, okay, that's fine, but don't make it any more difficult than you need to. We are simply asking you, what would this character that you kind of already are look like if he had the SP? And you see, from there you might end up realizing, okay, well, he wouldn't be this insecure. He wouldn't be on TikTok every single day lounging around. He would be more motivated. He would be more energetic and more ambitious. But don't do it the other way around. And what do I have to do in order to get to that character? No. Fast forward all the way to the end and see what would that character look like. And no, this does not mean that you go out in the 3D and you start doing things in order to get your SP. You start texting them even though you guys are in no contact. You start trying to strike conversations with them at work and see if now that you're this new character that you're finally going to win them over. No. Because remember, if you already had them, why are you trying to win them over in the first place? Right? You already have them. So when you see the 3D version of them right now who doesn't want you, you have to see that as the old story. Remember, what you see right now is not the present moment. It is a reflection of your past assumptions. So first of all, what you see with your eyes, remember, you're not the mind, you're not the body. Your eyes are part of the body. What you see with your eyes is not even you to begin with. Another way to say it is that is not your true reality. What your true reality is right here. So when I say act like an actor, as the one who has your SP. You have your SP in here. You don't have your SP out here. And when you keep going into your imagination and you keep acting as that person, and you keep asking yourself, what would that scene look like? Those scenes are going on in here. Now, by nature, automatically, you are going to start acting like that person. But you don't ever want to go to work if you work with your SP, or walk into the gym with the mindset of, okay, well, I'm going to try out my new character on my SP. No. The more you try, the more you get out of the scene. Remember, you are not going to be living in the 3D. You're going to be living in your in, which is in the 4D. Now, yes, obviously you can't be walking blind in this earth. You have to drive. You can't just, drive blindly and run over people because you're too busy focusing on the 3D. That's not what I'm saying. Excuse me, if you're too busy focusing on the 4D. That's not what I'm saying. You will have to still function. But when you are already telling yourself, I have to do A and B in order to get my SP, and I can't wait to see her because now I get to try out my new character. That's not inspired action. Okay? That's required action. You are requiring yourself to do something that is unnecessary. You want to get it to the point where you realize, oh shit, I had that conversation without even trying. It just happened. Now, I'm not going to say that you want to wait until she contacts you or till she walks up to you. That's not what I'm saying. But you know very well when this is coming from you actually trying to manipulate the 3D, or when it's actually something that happened naturally. Okay, because remember, we're detaching from the 3D. The version of your SP that you see right now is the version of your SP that doesn't want you. You will have to shift to that reality, but you have to let the 3D shift itself. You can't shift it for it. You have to let it happen naturally, okay? Now, I wish I could explain that further, but I feel like that's more of another video. But to end on a second note, while you are in the process where you don't see it out in the 3D, but you only see it in the 4D, the best affirmations to do are very similar to the self-pedestalization affirmations. You want to go out of your way and become very extreme with them. Don't just say that you and SP are in a loving relationship, or she texts me all the time, she's obsessed with me. I would go crazy. I once said this affirmation with a girl who I used to work with, where she would never look at me. She would never give me the light of day. We never had conversations. And all I did was, whenever I was working in the same station, I said, SP carries 5 different pairs of panties to work every day because she cannot stop relieving herself in the bathroom. Something fucking crazy like that. And within weeks, she started doing these crazy things on social media, blocking me and unblocking me when we didn't even follow each other, dude. Next thing you know, she would just make up random excuses to talk to me at work. And, even getting to the point where when she would see me flirting with other girls on the job, she would start coming out of her shell, because she was kind of a shy, woman. But when she saw me getting out of my shell, she would come out of her shell, and then she would try to, talk to me and get all bubbly around me. One thing led to another, and let's just say she ended up becoming one of my favorite, make-out buddies in the storage room, okay? And, call HR if you want to. But the point is this was a woman who I never would have expected for us to have any sort of affair whatsoever. I wasn't trying to be in a relationship with her, but I thought she was really cute. And when I tried that affirmation of her carrying 5 different pairs of panties just because she was going to masturbate to me, I could have said that me and her are making out in the storage room. I could have said that she has a huge crush on me, right? But I went above and beyond, because you see, the thing is like I said earlier, Your subconscious is stained with all these negative things. Stained. It's going to take a huge fucking amount of bleach to get that stain out. So another way to look at it is, I always use this example. The subconscious is like a fat guy on his phone all day who, you know, it's going to take a fucking bomb to get his attention. You know, throw your affirmations, throw your subconscious a fucking bomb. And this is the fucking bomb. So you make your own affirmation for your SP, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, whatever. I would say the more extreme you make them, the better. Now, for visualizations, I personally like to recommend Eric from The Power of I Am. I think he has some of the best visualization techniques out there. I would check his channel out. His membership has the best techniques that I've seen in regards to visualizations, because it seems like he really just has fun with it. And that's the thing, is like, you don't have to do any technique, period. You should be able to say and know that you have what you put in your awareness. You should only be able to say it once and expect that you will see it materialize in the 3D. But I know a lot of us, when we are, I don't even like to use this terminology because this blasphemes the whole manifestation, but when we are waiting for it, and of course, if you're aware of waiting, then you already don't have it. But when you are waiting for it, so to speak, you want to feel it right now. Well, there are techniques where you can literally feel it. And again, get this idea out of your head that your visualization needs to be extremely vivid, that it needs to be in 3D Blu-ray fucking IMAX 1080p. No. Like I've always said, your SP in your imagination could even look like your mother, okay? But if your subconscious knows what you're talking about, that's all that fucking matters, okay? Remember, no one is watching your movie but you. So who gives a fuck? So I would recommend his techniques. Again, his channel is called The Power of I Am. His name is Eric. But I've created my own technique, and I like to call it, well, actually, I don't have a name for it, but this is how it goes. You could either create a scene, or you could, when you're doing those crazy affirmations, like my SP, like for girls, I remember I said one where, you know, my SP feeds me Chick-fil-A on a silver platter and I drink Starbucks from an Egyptian flask. Like, even when I say that, and I'm not even a girl, I can imagine that in my head for a woman, like a client of mine, right? So I can actually see someone holding an Egyptian flask and you know, a chicken sandwich on a silver platter. It's pretty simple, right? Well, you could use your extreme affirmations and use the imagery that pops up, or you can create a scene where it's more realistic and you guys are on a dinner date that you know you and her, or you and him, would love. Okay? Whatever it is, what I would suggest is, especially if you struggle with feeling the senses in your visualization, I would do baby steps. Maybe you can call this baby step visualization. But when you first start out, focus on one specific detail in the visualization. Maybe you guys are at the dinner date and you're saluting glasses. Maybe just focus on the glasses, right? Try to get a detail of those shot glasses so vivid. Maybe if it's not the detail of the color of the glasses or the wine or champagne, try to get the sound of the clinking of the glasses together. And then the next day, you can do this from different angles. You could either go back to those glasses and try to get more detail, maybe of the background of the restaurant behind the glasses, or you could do a different detail and you could focus on the expression on both of your faces, when maybe from a bird's eye view, or even a fucking like a movie trailer close-up of it shows her face and then it shows your face. The point of this exercise is every single day you keep going back to that scene, you want to get a different detail. And the reason why this is so powerful is because whatever you put in your awareness is what you will manifest. Just like you kept putting in your awareness a bunch of rejection and, dude, again, she blocked me. Again, she stood me up. That's all your subconscious is hearing you tell yourself. You got to remember, even if you are getting rejection in the 3D, you don't have to admit it. Whatever you see out in the 3D, like I said, whenever you go to your gym and she's ignoring you, you don't tell yourself that. You go back to this scene. And when you are putting yourself in a scene where, though in the 3D, she's ignoring you, but in your 4D, you keep seeing that she is just so happy to be with you and you guys are saluting your 1-year anniversary, your subconscious is going to be like, wait. And when every single day you keep going back to a different detail, you are so focused on, I'm going to color in her cheekbones here, and then tomorrow I'm going to focus more on her eyebrows. You are putting so much detail that you're not even focused on the fact that she's ignoring you at the gym. You're now more, what seems more real is the 4D, because in your 4D, you're literally getting microscopic. And that's why this visualization technique is so powerful, because it's almost like you have an instant replay of your SP over and over again, and you're looking and enjoying every single little detail. And it actually helps you become a more powerful visualizer because you're taking baby steps. You're not telling yourself that you have to see Act 1, Act 2, Act 3 of the whole movie right away. You're taking your time. And when you're taking your time, you are literally making it more easier because you are only focusing on one detail at a time. Kind of like at the gym, you're not hitting all muscles. You maybe for a brief period of time you're only focusing on the biceps, but then later on you're focusing on chest and then traps and then the back. You're taking it one step at a time, and it's building into a more better shape on your body build, because instead of wearing yourself out and trying to do so much at once, you're taking your time, and now you are able to really focus on each body part, and it comes out better that way because you didn't add so much stress on yourself. So don't add so much stress on yourself in the visualization technique. Add a new detail each and every day, whether it's a new cut scene or whether it's the same scene every single 30 days, but you keep coloring it more and more HD each and every time. So that's my visualization technique. I call it baby step visualization, but I got to get a better title for that. But that's it for me, guys. I am Neil Larthos. This is all that the I'm Awareness had to say. And I know you're going to be okay.